Hey love, welcome to Soft Words, your quiet refuge where stories whisper, you are safe, you are loved, you are home. Come snuggle in with me. Let me hold you for a while. Not with arms, but with words and warmth and the kind of softness that asks nothing from you. You don't have to be okay. You don't have to explain. You just have to be here. Settle in. Get warm. Let the day start to melt off your shoulders. Take a slow breath in and let it out even slower, like you're sighing out everything you were carrying today. Again, inhale. Let your chest rise. Exhale. Let your jaw loosen. Let your fingers unfurl. Another breath just for you. In and out. You've done enough. You are enough. Even if the dishes didn't get done, even if the to-do list is still waiting, even if today didn't go the way you hoped, you are still worthy of rest, still worthy of gentleness, still worthy of being held. Let the breath be your invitation to slow down, to come back to your body, to come back to your heart. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Just bring it back with love, back to the breath, back to the softness. Right now, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to be anyone. Just you, just like this, is enough. Let the hush start to settle around you, like a warm shawl wrapped over your shoulders. Let the quiet wrap around your thoughts. Let the stillness soften what's been loud. You're not running anymore. You're not proving anything. You're just arriving. And tonight, I want to take you somewhere safe. A place that smells like sugar and stories, where the light is golden and someone's always glad you showed up. You don't need to pack anything, not your worries, not your roles, not even your name. Just bring your breath, just your heart. I'll walk you the rest of the way. Now that you're here, quiet, warm, and breathing a little easier, let's take a walk together. Not to hurry, not to check anything off, just to move slowly towards something tender, towards someone who already loves you. The air greets you gently, cool on your cheeks, with that crispness that only autumn can carry, like apples left on a windowsill, like a quilt aired out in the open. Each step feels easy, like the ground itself wants to help you along. The path is soft with leaves, reds and golds and browns, layered like a patchwork blanket. Some crunch underfoot, others scatter at the slightest breeze. whirling in circles before settling back into quiet. You pass a fence line where ivy twists in dark green ropes. Beyond it, tall trees stand watch. Branches arch like cathedral ceilings. Every so often, a gust shakes them, sending down a flurry of leaves that drift and spiral as if even gravity is reluctant to pull them from the air. The breeze is alive with scents. Wood smoke curling from a chimney somewhere nearby. A hint of something baking. Cinnamon, brown sugar, maybe apples. The kind of smells that reach into your chest and untie a knot you didn't even know was there. Somewhere off in the distance, a dog barks once and goes quiet again. A bird calls twice, answered by another, their notes threading through the stillness like soft embroidery. And you notice your shoulders have dropped. Your breath has deepened. Your body remembers how to walk without rushing, without proving, just moving, just being. And then you see it. Nestled between the trees, there's a house waiting for you. The kind of house that feels less built and more grown. Ivy crawling up its sides, shutters just slightly uneven, a porch light glowing like a lantern set out just for you. Smoke curls from the chimney, lifting into the twilight like a waving hand. The windows glow golden, as if someone poured honey over the edge of evening. You hear a sound from inside, laughter, faint and familiar, like a song you haven't heard in years, but still remember the words to. You pause at the edge of the porch, letting the cool air settle around you. Your hand brushes the railing, the wood smooth and worn, polished by years of welcomes. From here, you can hear the house's quiet hum, pots clinking, footsteps moving, the heartbeat of a home alive with love. And before you even knock, you feel it. You are wanted here, not tolerated, not squeezed in as an afterthought. Wanted. It smells like Sunday dinner. It feels like home. Come on, love. We're almost there. The porch light glows above you, spilling a circle of golden across the steps. It flickers just slightly, like it's been there a long time. A faithful light that never forgets its duty. The wooden boards beneath your feet creak softly, not in warning, but in welcome, like the house itself is stretching, ready to make room for you. You catch the faint warmth radiating from inside, heat slipping out through the cracks, wrapping itself around your cold fingers before you even lift your hand to knock. The scent is stronger here. Spice and butter, collard greens simmering low, cornbread just reaching that golden edge. It all swirls together with the smoky sweetness of autumn air until you're not sure if you're breathing or tasting. And then the door opens. Before your knuckles touch wood, she must have heard your steps. Or maybe she just knew you were coming. There you are, she says, wiping her hands on a soft cotton apron. Not surprised, just glad. Like her whole day was waiting for this moment. Her voice is low and warm, a sound that feels like it came long before language. The kind of voice you lean towards because it already knows you. You hungry, baby? She doesn't wait for an answer. She never did. I've got greens on the stove, cornbread in the oven, and a little something sweet cooling on the counter. She steps aside and holds the door open, not just with her body, but with her whole spirit, wide and steady, like she's throwing open a part of her heart that was reserved just for you. The warmth spills out across your shoulders, light from inside glowing like liquid honey. Crossing the threshold feels less like entering a house and more like being gathered in. And oh, the way the house smells. Butter and spice, slow-cooked tenderness, and something else. Something like memory itself. The floor creaks just right beneath your feet. Not sharp, not startling, but familiar. Like the house is greeting you with a little sigh of recognition. Each board seems to remember 1,000 footsteps before now. And now holds on to your weight too, without question, without rush. Sunlight spills across the tile like honey, amber and slow, catching in little dust motes that float lazily in the air. They drift in no hurry, like they've been dancing in that same beam of light all day, waiting for you to notice them. The air is warm here, softer than outside. It carries stories, jars of tea leaves lined along the counter, and a pie cooling under a towel, its buttery sweetness sneaking out around the edges. A secret it can't quite keep. From the back burner, a pot hums low, a steady, cozy note, like the kitchen itself is singing under its breath. Sit down, baby, Pearl says, her voice more invitation than instruction. She nods towards the chair at the kitchen table, and you don't ask questions. You just sit, because somehow the very act of lowering yourself into that chair makes your shoulders drop, like gravity remembered how to hold you again. The chair knows your weight. The room makes room for your breath. Pearl moves easily, like she's been practicing this rhythm her whole life. One hand reaching for a plate, the other closing around a spoon. The sound of silverware clinking, the soft scrape of cornbread against the knife falls into the air like music. The quiet percussion of care in motion. She sets the plate down in front of you. A little clatter, a little steam, the kind of steam that curls up and disappears, like a whispered blessing. And then she touches your cheek. Her palm is warm and steady, with just the faintest trace of flour clinging to her skin. It leaves the softness on you that no napkin can ever wipe away. Eat something, sugar, she says. You've been running too hard, trying too much. You can't pour from an empty cup. You hear me? You deserve rest. You deserve care. You ain't got to earn it here. You nod, but it's not just your head that agrees. It's your bones, your breath, your tired spirit finally remembering what softness feels like. You take a bite, even if only in your imagination. You taste warmth. You taste care. You taste love made real through sweet potatoes and seasoning, through butter and spice, through hands that have known how to feed long before you arrive. And as you chew, she sits across from you, watching, smiling, humming that same tune she always did, a hum that seems to vibrate straight into your chest, settling somewhere deep. You don't need to talk. You don't need to do anything. You're already enough. And the food isn't just for your body, it's for your soul. Pearl sets her own plate down beside yours, not because she's hungry, but because eating together is a kind of ritual, a kind of remembering. The two plates steam gently beside you, their warmth rising like incense, curling into the air and dissolving in the golden light. The table is sturdy, old wood, its surface polished smooth by years of meals, but nicked here and there with little scars of living. A faint knife mark, a darkened ring where a mug once sat too long. It feels alive, like it holds every conversation, every prayer, every burst of laughter that's ever echoed in this kitchen. Go on and eat, she says, nudging your fork towards your hand. Her tone is both gentle and certain, the way only someone who has earned their authority through love can speak. Ain't no shame in being tired, baby. You've been carrying too much for too long. You take a bite, something warm, something sweet, something that tastes like love that stayed. It fills your mouth slowly, not demanding to be swallowed, but asking to be savored. The silence that follows isn't empty. It's a silence full of hums and small comforts. The soft clink of Pearl's fork against her plate, the tick of a clock somewhere in the hall, the low, steady whistle of the pot simmering on the stove. She doesn't rush you, doesn't pepper the air with chatter. She lets the quiet stretch, lets the weight of the day unravel at its own pace. Pearl leans back in her chair, wipes her hands slowly on her apron, not because they need it, but because it gives her a moment to watch you. Her gaze is steady, the kind of gaze that makes you feel both transparent and safe, like she can see through the layers you keep hidden, and loves you all the more for what she finds there. Pearl studies you for a long moment, her fork resting idle on her plate. She doesn't rush to speak. She just lets her eyes settle on you, soft but steady, like she's searching past the surface for the part of you that's most in need of kindness. The kitchen hums around you, the pot on the stove giving a low sigh, the clock in the hall ticking softly, the house itself settling like an old friend easing into a chair. But Pearl's attention never wavers. Her gaze holds you still, as though the quiet between you was crafted just for this moment. Finally, she leans forward, rests one hand on the table, the other brushing flour from her apron. Her voice, when it comes, is low and sure, like a hymn remembered from childhood. "You don't have to say a word, baby," she murmurs. "I can see it on you. The kind of tired that doesn't wash off with one good night's sleep. That bone-weary tired from giving everybody else the best of you and leaving yourself with the scraps." She tilts her head, her lips curling just a little. Not quite a smile, but a knowing that runs deep. "I know that tired. I know it too well." The lamplight warms the lines on her face, etching them into something both tender and strong. Her eyes glint with humor, yes, but also with a kind of wisdom that only comes from living through it. She gives you that look, the one you've seen before, the one that always comes right before a story. The look that says she's about to hand you something true, wrapped in a memory, seasoned with laughter, served up like comfort food for the soul. And then, softly, she begins. "You know," she says, "there was a season when I forgot myself. I was running around making sure everybody had what they needed. Plates full, problems solved, nobody wanting for nothing. Except for me. I forgot one person. Me." She lets that truth linger. Then she leans back with a soft laugh, like she can't quite believe it even now. "Let me tell you about one Thanksgiving." Her eyes go distant for a moment, like she's seeing it play across the wall behind you. "I was in this kitchen from sun up to sun down. Turkey roasting so long the windows steamed up. Green beans bubbling slow in the biggest pot I own. Macaroni and cheese baking till the top was crisp and golden. Every counter covered. Rolls cooling in baskets with tea towels thrown over them. Pies, sweet potato, pecan, apple, lined up like little soldiers waiting to be called into duty. And the house, baby, the house was alive. Every chair pulled out, every cushion piled in, kids running back and forth like they'd lost their minds. Somebody's uncle telling the same story he told every year. Everybody laughing like it was brand new. Music humming low from the radio. Marvin Gaye, I think. You could hardly hear yourself think. But it didn't matter. That's how holidays sounded in my house. Like joy trying to crowd itself into four walls. She shakes her head with a smile. I made sure every plate was fixed, every roll was buttered, every second helping passed out. And me? Well, by the time folks were leaning back, rubbing their bellies, I was too tired to even make myself a plate. I told myself, all right, Pearl, just sit down. You'll get you a slice of cake later. That's gonna be your treat. She leans in closer, eyes widening, voice dropping into the rhythm of a secret. But baby, when I finally got the strength to stand back up, when I went looking for that cake, the pan was empty. Not one crumb left. Just foil and betrayal. Her whole body shakes with laughter, her hands slapping the table. I stood right here in this kitchen and had myself a meltdown over an empty pan of cake. I cried, fussed, carried on like somebody stole my joy. My family thought I'd lost my mind over dessert. Her laughter fades into a long sigh, the kind that settles deeper than the lungs. But it wasn't about cake. It was about me. I spent the whole day pouring myself out, making sure everyone else had enough, and left nothing for myself but tired feet and dirty dishes. And that's when it hit me. Nobody told me not to eat. Nobody told me to wait. That was me, my choice. I thought I can come last and still have something left over. But baby, life don't always work like that. If you don't take your slice while it's hot, you might end up with nothing but crumbs. She pauses and letting the words rest in the quiet between you. Kitchen hums low, clock ticking, pot sighing, the faintest whistle of wind slipping past the shutters. Then her grin returns, sly and sweet. So now, Pearl fixes her plate first. I cut my own slice of cake before I serve anybody else. And if somebody's got a problem with it, they can sit quiet and watch me eat. She chuckles, her shoulders shaking again. Because I learned the hard way. If you keep waiting for your turn, sometimes your turn never comes. And sweetie, she leans in, her eyes bright with love. You deserve more than crumbs. The plates are half empty now. Not the kind of empty that asks for seconds, but the kind that says, enough has been shared. Enough has been received. Pearl rises slowly, her knees creaking just a little, the chair sighing as it slides back. She hums as she clears the plates, not rushing, not fussing, just moving with the rhythm of someone who has been tending their kitchen long enough to know they will always call for her, and long enough to know she no longer has to answer in a hurry. The lamp above the table throws a golden glow across the wood, catching the steam rising from your cup, casting your shadow long and soft against the wall. From the counter, Pearl lifts a cloth-wrapped bundle. The fabric is warm against her hands, carrying the gentle heat of what waits inside. She presses it into your palm, the weight both light and certain. Sweet dreams need something sweet, she says with a wink. Her words land like a blessing, as natural as the air you breathe. Then she gathers you into a hug. Her arms are firm but tender. her apron faintly dusted with flour, smelling of butter, cinnamon, and the faintest trace of wood smoke that has lived in this house for decades. It's the kind of hug that doesn't hurry, the kind that believes you need holding more than you need anything explained. You take care of yourself now, baby, she whispers onto your shoulder. Not later, not someday, now. When she pulls back, she keeps your hands in hers a moment longer. Her fingers are warm, a little rough in places, but steady in a way that makes you feel you've borrowed her strength. She walks you to the door, not because she's eager to see you leave, but because she believes every goodbye deserves presence. The door opens to the cool night, air crisp against your cheeks, carrying the faint scent of leaves and smoke. The porch light spills across the steps, and behind you, the glow of Pearl's kitchen windows cast rectangles of gold into the darkness. You pause there for a moment, bundle warm in your hands, the hush of the house still humming in your chest. The doorway feels like a threshold between two worlds, one noisy and demanding, and one that whispered to you tonight, "You are enough." Pearl lifts her hands in a slow wave, her smile sure, her presence steady as the house behind her. Then she disappears back into the warm hush of her kitchen, leaving the light burning for you like she always does. And you turn toward the path home, her words tucked in your pocket, her care woven into your bones. With every step, you feel a little more steady, a little more whole, a little more like yourself. The night is alive but unhurried. Crickets hum steady in the grass, their chorus weaving through the air like a lullaby older than language. The breeze moves across your face, cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of leaves, smoke, and just a hint of cinnamon that clings to you from the kitchen. It feels like the air itself has softened for your sake. Above you, the sky stretches wide and endless. The stars blink like old friends, scattered across the darkness in patterns that feel both familiar and mysterious. One star seems to pulse just a little brighter, as though it's keeping time with your breath. Inhale, the world gathers around you. Exhale, the heaviness you've been carrying slips quietly into the night. Your eyes grow heavy, but not from exhaustion, from permission. Permission to rest. Permission to stop. Permission to simply be. Pearl's voice still lingers in your chest, soft as a prayer. Don't wait until the cake is gone. Take your slice, baby. You deserve more than crumbs. The words settle inside you, not sharp, not urgent, but steady. A truth that feels like it belongs in your bones. Let the night hold you now. Let the stars keep watch. Let the rocking chair cradle you the way Pearl's kitchen did, the way her hug did, the way her laughter still echoes gently in your heart. Inhale. You are safe. Exhale. You are enough. You don't have to think. You don't have to do. You don't have to be anything but here. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts fall away like leaves drifting down to a quiet stream. The hush deepens. The darkness becomes kind. And this moment is enough. Close your eyes, sweet one. The world can wait. And you can rest now. Good night, love. Sleep well. The light will always be here, waiting for you when you return.